Right, guys, hello and welcome to another video on the If I Speak podcast. Today it's me and Kunal going to talk about uh, the first fixture of the season, or second after Brentford Arsenal. So it's Leeds versus Man United. Obviously, big rivalry there. We saw us play last season twice, big games. First one was obviously good for you. It's not so good for us, but second one was just like a basic, boring draw.
Yeah,
Um,
just recycling
but let's,
position.
yeah, so let's just see what happens this season, obviously with the new players and uh, obviously the start of the season. So hopefully everyone will have fresh legs, ready to go. So yeah, do you want to start? Do you want to talk us through uh, your thoughts on the match ahead?
I don't know, man. It's going to be pretty nervous because we saw that Leeds gave Liverpool a good game last season, beginning of the season. Nobody thought that they would perform so well against the champions. Although at that point, we didn't know a lot about Leeds. Not everybody did. But then against the champions Liverpool, where Liverpool didn't have injuries to Van Dijk and Gomez, and they were a fresh squad, and still you guys gave them a good game. It was a surprise to all of us. And then later on the season, we saw that the way that Bielsa plays, the squad got burnt out a little bit in the middle of the season when during the Christmas period and January period. But then you picked up your results again and finished with 7 wins in the last 10 games, if I'm not wrong. So that was a impressive season by Leeds, and I'm just a massive fan of Bielsa. I think everybody who watches football, everybody who follows any team in the world should love Bielsa, and most people do. And even though he's the Leeds manager and you were our rival, I think that his football philosophy, the way he plays football, is very entertaining. And if somebody asks me, how do I get into football, I would always recommend them watching a Bielsa team play. That's how entertaining his teams are. So I'm pretty excited for the first game of the season against Leeds because I know that even though we've bought players in, our squad will be up for the challenge. And under Oli, we've also progressed massively. So it's just going to be fireworks.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, thinking back to last season, obviously it was our first season in, and we had, like you said, we had Liverpool first game in, and I don't know, I didn't know what to make of it when it came through. Oh, we've got Liverpool first. Obviously, they just had like a really good season. They won the Premier League, etc., etc. And obviously, we just went flying, and put in a really good performance. We did lose in the end, but it was like a goal between it, and that was like Salah had two penalties on the day, just stupid defending. But um, I think we learnt a lot of mistakes early in our first season in, and obviously now second season with Bielsa, it should, because he knows obviously he's been through it and he's a master tactician, and because he's already had a season with the same squad, it's not like we've changed any of the squad, apart from our left back Alioski leaving. The squad's like exactly the same pretty much. So he obviously as well, he's gonna have worked with some of the boys over the summer. We saw Calvin go to the Euros and play for England. So there's a lot of improvement that's happened over that duration. And it's the same thing. Like a lot of fans tend to say that second season is like the season where you start messing up, and the first season like the lucky season. Um, but I think for us it's going to be the opposite because we have Bielsa. If we had like any other ordinary manager,
Yeah.
then I can say fair enough. But I think Bielsa is just a different, it's a completely different. It just changes the game basically. And even if we look like when he first joined us, our first season in the Championship, I think we finished like 14th or something. We didn't do well at all. And then second season we won the Championship. So I think Bielsa, now that he knows the players that are there, how to work with the players. Obviously, you played Man United before. It's a completely different occasion, completely. And also, obviously, the fans are back.
Yeah,
So
that's
it's at
massive
Old
news,
Trafford.
and it's going to be big.
Yeah, and it's at Old Trafford, which obviously for us is hard because we tend to like playing at home more. Um, but then again, our away fans are mental. And obviously, because Leeds and Manchester isn't too far apart in where they are, it's like what, an hour's drive. A lot of Leeds fans, the away side sold out very quickly. Like everyone's rushing to go because we couldn't go last season. So this is the first like opportunity we get to obviously see, the great rivalry, Manchester United versus Leeds. And it only ever happened in the last like decade, like only 3 or 4 times in FA Cup, and that's it. Like it's not, we haven't been in the same league where we've been playing. So no, I think it's going to be really interesting. But what worries me is that we had a really bad pre-season, and another thing is we haven't brought in any like fresh legs. So when I've seen like some of our players who Bielsa likes to play, for example, Tyler Roberts, Helder Costa, sometimes Matthias Klick, it's a bit of like a worry. So I'm worried like if he does play them like weirdly, because obviously they played in pre-season, just to keep the momentum going. If he plays them first game, it's going to be a bit odd and will they have a good game? But I'm hoping he doesn't. And obviously another thing is, will Phillips play? Because Phillips didn't play at all in pre-season, so I'm thinking like, what's happening there? Is he going to just chuck him into a big game against Man United at Old Trafford? So I think we'll see. But now, what do you want to? What do you think the lineup's going to be on the day?
I don't know about the lineup because most of our first team didn't play the preseason, just like you mentioned, Phillips didn't play. So most of our players were also on an international duty and they've just returned. So most of them have played like 45 to 60 minutes of football over the preseason. That's it. So it's going to be confusing to see. It's confusing to guess who's going to start. But I'm pretty sure that Maguire will start. I'm pretty sure that De Gea will start. I'm pretty sure that Van Bissaka will start. Luke Shaw will start. Just because we've not even announced Varane yet, I'm sure that Lindelof will start. So our back five is pretty much set. But what is going to happen in the midfield and attack is what is confusing me because Cavani hasn't trained. He hasn't played a minute in preseason. So it has to be either Anthony Martial starting or Mason Greenwood starting. But then if Mason Greenwood starts as a number 9, who starts on the right? Will it be Dan James? Sancho has started training with the first team, but we didn't see him in preseason. I don't know if Oli will play him. Maybe bring him on as a sub. So it's very confusing. But if I go with my gut feeling, I think it's going to be Matic, Van de Beek, and Bruno in midfield. Pogba's not going to start the game. And if Pogba does, he'll start on the left wing with Martial through the middle and Greenwood on the right. Otherwise, according to me, Pogba will not start the game and Dan James will start on the left. So it's going to be a front three of Dan James, Anthony Martial, and Mason Greenwood. So it's going to be a difficult game, in my opinion, because even though you guys didn't have a good preseason, but most of your first team did train together over the preseason. So you might have a couple of big players missing, but then the 8 to 9 players out of your first team were training together. They were playing preseason games, but that wasn't the case with our team. So I think that Leeds are going to give us a very good game, and we're finally going to see the ferocity of the rivalry with the fans back in the ground. So that's going to be fun. What do you think that the Leeds lineup would be?
Well, I had one written down. This is what just a thing off the top of my head. So obviously Meslier in goal, the young Frenchman. Ailing right back. Another thing that happened in pre-season, this is why I hate pre-season. Like, although it's fun to watch because you can watch any game pre-season and it's against different teams from different countries. Yeah, cool. The annoying thing is injuries. So Llorente is now out for 3 weeks, I think. So he's going to miss like the first 3 games. So that's Man United missed, Everton missed, and I think Burnley. So he's going to miss like 3 or 4 games basically. So we're going to have Ailing right back as the Koch centre back. Obviously, as a Llorente replacement. Cooper because strikers also. I think he's like hurt his like tendon, Achilles or something. So I don't know what's happened there completely. Dallas is obviously going to play in defense as well because I don't think Bielsa will chuck Firpo straight into like a Manchester United match like that. He might maybe bring him on later on, but I think just because of experience from last season, and you know how Dallas played against Man City, we probably played Dallas in defense. I still went for Phillips in CDM, but I don't know. I'm not completely sure because I don't know what's happening there. Obviously, he didn't play across. I don't think he got any minutes across the preseason. I think he played like, a little bit of one match and that was it. Like he hardly really.
Yeah, same with our English players. Luke Shaw and Maguire got 45 to 60 minutes. So
yeah, I think that's as much as he got really. Obviously, Rafinha is going to play right wing. I said Rodrigo and Click in midfield because Click had a really good preseason. I think he scored like 3 or 4 goals. Yeah, 3 goals. So he had a good preseason. And obviously, if there is a penalty or anything, he's usually our penalty taker. So I think we'll keep him in. And obviously Harrison on the left, Bamford up top. I don't think it's going to change like drastically because we can't. Our squad depth that's another thing that like Leeds fans have been talking about this week and why we're so desperate that we can maybe bring in a few more players before the transfer window is. If we're looking at like squad depth, is our squad like does it have a lot of players? Like I was thinking about yesterday, like now that Alioski's gone, if Firpo gets injured and say Dallas is injured or something, or we need another centre mid and Dallas plays centre mid, he's playing a left back, and if Harrison's injured, he's playing a left wing. So it's a bit of a strange one. Like we can bring the youth in, but then like can't just put them into a big game. Like even if you're playing against Everton, but you're used to playing in the under 21s game, it's completely different. So, but I would like to see some youth players get game time this season, similar like what you've done with Mason Greenwood. Like he's getting game time. He's been getting game time last couple of seasons, and over time you can just see him improving so much. So I'm just hoping, especially Bielsa, like the tactician that he is, like if he can develop players and get them better, that would be really nice to see. Because then you obviously build up a squad. You got a lot of squad depth. Then you're building up players that can play. Like if anyone is injured or you don't want to rest players, you can chuck someone in. But yeah, I think that's the lineup I'm going with. I think that's pretty much what it's going to be. I don't know though. I think it's gonna be entertaining with the fans back. Like obviously, I'm not going to the game. You're not going to the game, but we'll probably obviously be watching it still, and it'll be just fun to see like not like an empty stadium. Like we'll just see like fans everywhere. It'll be a lot of noise, be a lot of atmosphere. Obviously, it's Old Trafford. Like regardless of it being Man United, everyone knows it's one of the best like stadiums in the world, best atmospheres. And when you've got Leeds fans and Man United fans in one stadium, forget the rivalries and everything just for 5 seconds. Like we know the atmosphere is going to be crazy. So I think that's going to be really fun. Like I would have actually liked to go to this game, but it sold out so quickly that I couldn't even get tickets. But yeah, I think it'd be interesting. But do you want to say score predictions? What do you think the score prediction is going to be?
I don't know. I think that the way that Leeds play, they are a threat, but they also leave themselves open. So I'm going to go with a 1-1 just because both teams will be fresh. And even though I want us to win, and even though I think that we are capable of winning, I think that the first game of the season, both teams will try to feel each other out. Both teams don't want to start on the wrong foot, don't want to start with a loss. So I think that both teams will go for it, but not completely go for it, if you know what I mean. So I'll stick with a 1-1. What about you?
Yeah, I was thinking a draw as well, because obviously, like we saw with the Liverpool game, like when we played Liverpool, it was a really tense game. Yeah, there was goals in it, but I think with Man United, it's going to be a different thing. And obviously, like there's a thing that teams may have sussed us out a bit, like how we play. Obviously, we like to counter and we like to have possession a lot and control the game a lot. And it's funny actually because like I think just before we were recording the video or before we were speaking, I saw like on my phone Anthony Martial had said that the plan is to let Leeds have possession of the ball and let them take control because they love to do that, and then obviously you just counter and take the ball off them. So I think that's pretty much what it's going to be. You're just going to give us the ball more, let us play, let us do what we want to do, and try and nick it off us. And I think thinking back to the first game, obviously, when McTominay had a really good game, scored a couple of goals. I think that was like a really like rookie mistakes from us. Like this, when I was talking to you about it afterwards, they so easily could have been like they were like easy mistakes basically. They could easily be handled. And I think it was just shoddy from our defense. Like they just gave the ball away. Like Bruno tackles us, that's it, bang, score, goal. And it was pretty like for us, it went downhill, went south very quickly. I think he scored in like the 2nd minute, then the 5th minute, then the 16th minute. So by like half time, it was like 3-0. And he scored one more in the second half, and that was it. It's done. A few more. I don't know. I can't remember now what the score was because it was that long ago.
I think it was 4-1 going into halftime, and then we scored 2. You scored 1.
Yeah, 6-2 was But the second game, like
it could have been completely the opposite. You could have scored 6 that game because the way you were playing, and
Yeah.
if our luck didn't favor us that day, it
Yeah.
we could have easily seen that Leeds are winning that game by 5-2,
Yeah.
6-2, the same scoreline. So luck was on our side that day, and I could agree with the fact. I don't know if you would agree with it, but then I see that we do have all on paper, player by player, we do have a stronger squad.
Yeah.
So I think that again, when the game kicks off on Saturday, maybe both of our teams are going to rely on those individual talents a lot more, just because the season hasn't started and it's going to be the first game of the season. So I'm not sure how many goals we see, but again,
Yeah.
a very nervy
Tight.
game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think even like the second game, like I don't know if you remember the second game, but um, I was watching it and I was like, this is so like I was supposed to be going out, and I was like, I'm staying at home to watch this match because it's such a big game. And I remember like, I was sat here like just watching TV. I was like, this is so boring, man. It was
Yeah,
like
just
I think that
recycling
was
possession.
I think it was one of the deadest games that like you had the ball like for 5 minutes, then we had the ball for 5 minutes, then you had it, and we had it, a couple of tackles, and that was it. Like it was so boring, and then you had a shot, we had a shot that like, nowhere near the goal. It's a pretty crap game, but like it was just a game of possession. I think that game, just practically like which team has the ball more. That's like, literally all it was. Now I think that was a 1-1 draw, isn't it? Yeah. So
It
it
was
was pretty.
nil-nil. It was
Oh,
nil-nil.
no. Yeah, no one scored. Yeah, it's pretty basic. But I think it's more likely to be more like the second one than the first one. Because
Yeah.
obviously now the Bielsa sort of stuff that how to play against the bigger teams, what to do. But I'm just hoping like Martial, I think what he says is right. Like I don't want us to just have the ball like 90% of the time, and I'll just lose it, and then you just do a counter and finish us off. Like I wouldn't want that to happen, but I don't know. It's good. I think the good thing with our team is we've got pacey players that can run. Like we've got Harrison. There's a lot of energy into this team. Like even since Firpo joined, he's like, yeah, I played for Barcelona, but since I've come to Leeds, like I've gone through the training drills and like what they expect of me is mental. Like I'm thinking, what the hell am I doing here now?
Yeah.
Because we play like high press football, like possession, like winning the ball, counter attacking, and similarly with you guys do the same. So it's very very like yeah, you got Bruno Fernandes. Sure, you may have stronger players. Yeah, I 100% agree. But I think the from both teams, the pressure, the possession is like very very similar, and I think it's more likely going to be like the second game than the first game. So yeah, that's why I also said like I think it's going to be a draw. But it would be nice to see a couple of goals, man, just because the fans are back. Like,
Yeah,
oh yeah,
exactly.
it'd be fun to see like some nice goals.
The,
Like even the 6-2, like the goals are mental. Like even our two goals, like I didn't think we scored two because I thought we had a terrible game. But if we actually look at, I was looking back at the goals yesterday. The goals that we scored were actually not bad goals. They were good goals. It was just like I don't know what we
I
did.
don't even remember the first one. I,
Deflection.
I remember the second one flying into the top right corner. I guess a
Yeah,
left back or right back scored it.
Dallas.
So
Yeah.
yeah,
But
that was a good shot. Yeah.
I think the first goal was just like a header, like a tap in header or something. But like even then, like I was not expecting 6-0 down. We're gonna come back with 2 goals. Like, but yeah, but I think yeah, it'd be a tight game. I say a draw as well. Yeah.
In the second game, I thought that Bielsa changed how Leeds play. I think that he set up a lot more in order to not concede rather than you guys opening up that much. And with Ollie, I think that he set up exactly like how he did in the first game. He was like, let's just go and attack these guys because they are gonna leave space in behind. But
Yeah.
when the players saw that there is no space in behind, when your team has set up in a way where you were not leaving a lot of space, you were man marking very well. So players got confused a little bit, and that is why it was such a boring game. But now that Ollie and Bielsa both know that both have played 2 games against each other, both know that how the teams can set up, both know the weaknesses and the strengths of each other. I think it's going to be a different game from the second game, but it's still going to be a draw. So not sure on what's about to happen, but it's going to be fun.
Yeah, I was just wanted to ask, just going off obviously the match like for a second, what are your thoughts about obviously the new signings? Because obviously you got Varane, Sancho. Do you think that's it for Man United now? Is that enough?
I don't know. I think that today Ollie had a press conference and he was like, "Don't count us out. Anything can happen in the transfer window. Just general manager stuff." And he's like, "If any opportunity comes up, we are going to grab it." I think the only possibility for Man United right now is Kamavinga, according to me. we've seen Fabrizio Romano come out and say that United are not done. They're going to get one more signing in, and I believe Fabrizio Romano as much as I do my mother or my father, because
Yeah,
that guy's the goat in transfer talk. So
he's tier one, tier one.
yeah, tier one, right? So I think that they're United looking at players, but they aren't certain about who to get because we need to sell to buy. Basically, the
Yeah,
amount we spent around 80 million on Sancho, we've spent 34 million on Varane, which was a great deal. I don't think anybody thought that we could any club thought that they could get Varane for 34 million, and on paper he's worth as much as a Van Dijk, let's say
yeah,
75 million to a 80 million defender. And
yeah. I agree.
at Real Madrid, he was a little he used to fly under the radar a little bit because of Sergio Ramos, but
Yeah,
we all know that he is a great centre back. So I'm very happy with the summer that we've had. But Sancho was a signing for last summer, right? We had the
yeah,
money last summer. We were ready to offer Borussia Dortmund 85 million. They wanted
yeah,
120 million, but we had 85 million ready to go.
yeah.
So all the Glazers have done this summer is sign Varane. So I don't know what to think about it because
Mm,
one side I'm really happy that we did get Sancho and we got it over the line and he's a
yeah,
brilliant player and he might take a few months to adjust to the Premier League, but long term we've got a great player with us. And
yes,
over the summer doing only the Varane deal because Sancho was basically done last summer, right? So
yeah,
the contract was ready, his agent was ready. The only problem was the fee with Borussia Dortmund. So once that got sorted out, everything happened quickly. So Glazers have basically signed just Varane. I'm unhappy with it, and I think that there is a gaping hole in our midfield uh, because we don't have a proper CDM. I don't think that Fred can do that job alone or Matic can do that
message. Yeah,
job alone. Matic, I'm ready to throw him out of the club tomorrow morning.
yeah, I know.
Very unhappy with him, and McTominay can't do that job alone. So we need a specialist CDM and a Kamavinga or a Bissouma or a Ruben Neves or
Yeah,
a Saul. These kind of players can transform our midfield into something else. So we might not need a destroyer like Conte, but somebody who can just move the ball between the defense and the attack really quickly because we see that Pogba requires a lot of time on the ball. He is a creator, he's a world class player, but whenever he receives the ball, he'll take 2 3 touches, he's going to show off a little bit, and then he's going to do what he wants to do. With Bruno, he plays a lot attacking. We can't expect him to drop deeper. So I think that we need a CDM, uh, but I'm not sure if we'll get one.
yeah,
What about you? Do you think your
yeah.
summer is done?
I don't think so. Like, I hope not. Obviously, the only player we've got this season really is Firpo, from Barcelona. I think it's 23 million you said last time in the video. Yeah, it's about around that figure. And obviously we bought Harrison from Man City, but he was practically playing for us for the last 3 seasons. So we had him on a free season, like we basically extended a loan each season to 3 seasons. I think that was actually really clever by the club. Like I said in the previous video, like I think that's one of the best things we've done because I was looking at the stats, and I think I even sent it on our group chat. It's like, yeah, obviously he's an attacking winger and everything, but for someone who played in the MLS to score more goals and have more assists than like Mason Mount, Foden, like any other like English midfielder or winger, like you gotta rate that. And like he was an MLS boy playing with Pirlo while Pirlo's like about to retire basically. Um, so the fact that he's obviously come into the championship, helped take us up. First game at Liverpool, scored an amazing goal. I think he scored two actually. An amazing goal. Like in there, don't forget Van Dijk playing that game, Trent's playing that game. Like everyone big, all the big players playing that game. And he basically just done them over. Like I think that was really good. The loan period. Obviously now we've sealed the deal. We bought him. Even that as a bargain. Like that's how you know how rich Man City are. Like they're not even bothering to negotiate and say like,
Yeah.
oh, we don't want 15 or we don't want 10. We want 20 million or 25 million based on his performance. But we basically got a bargain for him. I think personally. So I don't see Harrison as like a signing really because I thought that's going to happen anyway. Every Leeds fan thought in the back of their head if you guys play it for 3 seasons on loan, not just going to ride, you can go back now. So yeah, we'll hold on to him. No, that was good. Firpo, yeah. Other than that, there's been no other signings. There's just been youth signings. Like I said in the previous video, there's Lewis Bate from Chelsea, youth player, excellent youth player, but a youth player. So he's not really going to get any game time, like Premier League game time this season. I don't think so anyway. Kiko Casilla left on loan to back to the Spanish league, so back to La Liga. So obviously we have to sign. I think Kiko Casilla, we're just trying to like phase out of the club. So we had to bring in obviously a backup goalkeeper. So we brought in a Norwegian goalkeeper called Clayson, and like apparently he's like Norway's #1 like under 21 goalkeeper. So he's basically like the future. So like another.
Are you sure Ollie hasn't sent him?
Maybe, you know. He's basically like basically like another Meslier type character. Like he's going to be a future player. So and obviously a lot of people already are interested in Meslier. Like they want him already. Like Brighton, apparently PSG want him. Like there's a lot of like interest for him just because of his age, and like I think even like last season he's like had like for like I can't remember how many clean sheets he had in a row. I think it was like 7 or 8 clean sheets in a row. Like that's kind of big for a player who's like not really played like first team football or like got any action, like, and he's gone straight into the Premier League. So yeah, but obviously we've got backup goalkeeper. The problem is like I was talking to you like at the beginning of this video, like squad depth. I don't think our squad is that deep. So like we're looking at like a lot of wingers because like we have Helder Costa, but he's not the greatest of players. And there's a lot of news coming this week that Valencia are interested in signing Helder Costa. So he might be leaving the club. We don't really know. Again, like I said to you, Tyler, like how you don't like Matic, I don't like Tyler Roberts. I'm not a fan of him at all. And I think that goes for a lot of Leeds fans. Like, obviously, he's probably not watching this, but if he is, I don't want to say like he's a shit player. But it's just like, I don't think he puts in enough work rate and enough effort. And I think we need a better player than that, someone who's stronger in the midfield, because you can't just rely on Dallas and Click. Like they're not even them, they're good, but they're not Premier League or European, or like they're not that standard. We need to start going to like that level. So we're looking at a couple of midfielders. Obviously, we were linked with Pereira. That didn't happen. He's gone to Saudi Arabia. We linked with Mateus Cunha. That's still, we haven't heard anything about it. We're linked with Noah Lang, he's young. He played for Ajax, I think, and then joined Club Brugge in Belgium. So he's a winger. He's really good for them. So we're looking at him as like a backup to Rafinha, because then you've basically got 2 talented wingers. We're also looking at Dan James, but I don't really want that Dan James deal to go ahead, because not to say Dan James isn't good, but I don't think Dan James is going to offer us anything else than our players already are at the moment. So I don't see how he will fit in, or like how it will work. But a lot of Leeds fans like Dan James and they want Dan James to join. I think it's just a preference thing. This week, I think
there was the way that Bielsa sets up his teams. Dan James can thrive in the Leeds team.
Yeah,
he maybe not perform well, say at a Wolves or a Brighton or a Brentford, but at Leeds I think that he can thrive.
Yeah, I think anyone with Bielsa is like a lot of young English men can probably thrive. Like they can fit in quite well. Because I think Bielsa is it's just the way that Bielsa like. I don't know what he does, but it's just the way he sets teams up and the way that he's like tactician play. Like it's quite clever. He did that with Ayling. He did that with Harrison. He's done that with Dallas. He did it with Phillips. Obviously, Phillips gone to the Euros, killed it at the Euros, managed to get them to the final. Like he's improved a lot of players, and it's majority of the players he's improved have been English. Like Rafinha was already good. Rodrigo's already good. So a lot of the Englishmen he seems to have like focused on more and improved. So yeah, I think Dan James, if he came, Bielsa would do a job. But I don't know. I just think it's personal preference. I don't know if Dan James would be the ideal, like perfect candidate we can get. We probably get someone like slightly better, or someone who's slightly more skillful. I don't know. I don't know if Dan James is like the perfect fit. Not to say that he isn't like good. But yeah, like I was saying, we even this week, like CDM wise, we have Calvin Phillips and we've got youth players. And as we saw last season, there was like a short period of time where Calvin Phillips was injured, and it was the same with like when Jack Grealish is out of the Villa team. When Phillips is out of the Leeds team, there's just like consistent losses. because he's basically the backbone of our team because we tend to play 4-1-4-1, so or 4-1-4-1. So it's basically like he's basically the backbone of our team. Once he's out and you put someone like Jamie Shackleton, who's like a youth player, like the team's not as strong as it could be. So Bielsa was spotted this week in Manchester, outside the Man City Etihad, walking with like two agents. I think the player's agent it was, and a representative from the club with Bielsa, probably a translator or another representative. But it's rumored that but after Yango Herrera, he's a Man City player, but he's been out playing for other teams. Like I think he plays at Granada and La Liga, but he's another CDM who's like really strong. He's Colombian, obviously, so there's that South American link with Bielsa. So I think that's why Bielsa might have gone to City. Some people are saying he's just gone to meet Pep just for a chat. Who knows? But obviously, there's a lot of interest with a lot of players. Even Ryan Kent is like a backup to Harrison, or you push Harrison into the number 2 role and make Ryan Kent a priority. But I don't know. That's the thing. Like with our club, I think a lot of players were linked with, and they're very good players. But it's a matter of getting like the deal over the line, and I think we're gonna leave it very, very late till like the end of the transfer window, because like we did the same with Rafinha last season. We signed him on transfer deadline day with the like half an hour to go, and then we got heard on Sky, oh, Rafinha signed for Leeds, and we're like, who the hell is this guy? Like we knew of him, but we didn't know how good he was. And obviously last season he turned out to be excellent for us, and like Liverpool interested, Man United interested. So yeah, I think I still have faith in the club to find someone to find. I think most importantly, we need a centre mid or CDM who can help Phillips out, who can help Dallas and Click and Roberts out, because you can't really rely. That's not a strong Premier League midfield as we'd hope. Last season we finished 9th.
You finished 9th, and
Bielsa's gonna want to finish higher. So
yeah,
if he wants to finish higher, and Chelsea are signing Lukaku, you're signing Varane and Sancho, Arsenal are signing Ben White, Tottenham are signing Romero, we're gonna have to keep up. Obviously Leicester are signing Sumer and Daka. We're gonna have to keep up with the party. So I think on the signings front, I'm not saying spend loads of money, because I don't think money really comes into it, but as long as we sign people who can help us keep up with it, like who are good enough, like European level, or they're playing in like big leagues, like they're a number one club, then it's nice to see. Like even if we bring some Ajax players in, or like from another league who has like a bit of, they've been there, done there, seen it, so they've won trophies. Like that would be good, like just to bring them in the club. I don't know how we can rely on like Click, Roberts, Dallas. Like they're not really gonna push us forward. And they're not young players either. They're like near enough. Apart from Roberts, they're all like 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. So they're obviously older. So I think we've got to do something. But I'm just gonna leave it to Victor and the club. I'm not gonna worry too much. Just gonna see what happens. But hopefully we do sign someone, and then even if it takes like us to the January transfer window, and it takes us like, oh, we're waiting till January now to sign someone, I'd be happy with that. Because I'm saying with you, like Sancho, it took you a season, and you practically last season signing, yeah. But now that he's here, he's gonna be a big improvement. I'm sure. Like most Man United fans, especially, are really happy about the signing. So yeah, but I think it'd be a cracking season. I'm just looking forward to this match. I think a lot of Leeds fans, a lot of Man United fans, looking forward to it. And I think we'll see what happens. But yeah, like you're saying, I agree with you. I think it'd be a draw, but it'd be a very like high intensity possession play game, and a lot of tackles, maybe a couple of fouls, keep it dirty like back in the day. But yeah, let's see.
Before we close this video out, I just want to ask you, what do you think you'll do this season? Because obviously, like you mentioned, you finished 9th last season. Nobody expected you to do this well, be so close to Arsenal and Tottenham. Maybe it was the downfall of Arsenal and Tottenham by themselves. Also, they are top six clubs, and they also finished in 7th and 8th. But you guys did massively well. You guys finished 9th. So, what do you expect from the whole season after the United game?
I mean, I think we've got a couple of hard games to start with, because we've got yourselves, Everton, Burnley, Liverpool. So it's going to be difficult. I don't think we play Watford or Brentford or any of the new promoted teams till later on. So the start of the season is going to be a bit hard, a bit shaky. I think, but we'll see as time goes on. But no, like you said, last season ninth. I think Bielsa, he did an interview with Sky. He only wants to do better. He doesn't want to do. I don't think any manager want to do worse. Any team would want to improve. But like it just the signings that scare me. Like if Chelsea are signing Lukaku, and you have to keep up as well. So I'll be happy with top 10. Top 10, I say, is like even if we get top table, I'm happy with that. But I would have liked to say that we finish 7th, 8th. I think we'll improve from last season. But then again, I think that depends on signings. I think the core is we need to sign a centre mid just to help out. Like even pre-season, I think in the centre mid role we weren't. It was like it's basically like there's a hole in the team. Like it's not the greatest. And if we do have like someone who's a backup or someone we can rely on, I think that'll really push us forward a bit. Maybe someone who's a goal scorer as well. I think Rodrigo might even score a few goals this season because obviously it's his second season now. But I think I'm gonna say top 10. But that's my like worst case scenario, top 10. I think I'm gonna put us like 7th, 8th. I think we'll do better than last season, basically.
I think you'll finish 7th. West Ham and Everton will drop out.
Yeah.
Because
I don't think Everton will have as good a season as last season, and I don't
Ancelotti is left.
I don't think West Ham will either. Like they had a good season, but I think a lot of that was to do with Lingard, and now that Lingard's not there, is another thing. So I think they'll drop down a bit as well. Yeah.
Yeah.
What about yourselves? Man United? Where do you think you'll finish? Obviously with the new side.
I think we'll finish 2nd or 3rd. That's where we should aim for. We finished 2nd last season. We had 6 losses throughout the season, the exact same as Man City. Man City had 6 losses. Where we basically got hurt were the draws against, say, a Burnley or a Leeds or other smaller sides. Against the top teams also, we had draws, but we had really good games. And with Oli, we've seen massive improvement. I didn't expect him to do this well when he came in, and I'm so happy with him. I mean, people keep calling him PE teacher. People keep calling him names. People think that he's not he's not a good manager, but I'm telling you right now, maybe he's not good tactically, but he is a brilliant manager. We can see that the squad is happy under him. There have been no rumors ever coming out of the camp that the squad is unhappy with how things are behind the scenes. So I think that he has that Man United DNA, and when he signed for Man United, when he became a permanent manager, the first thing he said was, I'm going to be successful here. Some of these players aren't going to be with me when that happens. So I think that he is going to be successful. And I still think that we're going to finish 2nd or 3rd is because I think that City are just unbeatable at the moment. They have 2 squads of 11 of first team players. I think that people are making a lot of Chelsea just because they won the Champions League and they signed Lukaku. But if you remember, they were in the top 4 throughout the season and Liverpool weren't. Liverpool managed to get into the top 4 and finish above Chelsea in the last 3 or 4 games of the season. So I think that winning the Champions League and playing Champions League games is way different than playing in the Premier League. So I think that Chelsea are going to be there or thereabouts, but I think that people are making a lot of them. They're just hyping them up a lot, and I would love to see a title fight from Chelsea or from any other club, but I think it's going to be Man City winning it again. And with Liverpool, all of us are very confused as to what's going to happen. We don't know if Van Dijk and Gomez will be able to regain their form. So looking at that picture and looking at the signings that we've brought in, I think we're going to finish 2nd and 3rd. And like last season, we went unbeaten away from home. I think with the fans back, that's not going to happen, but we're going to have more points than we did last season. So it's going to be a fun season. It's going to be a good season, and I'm really excited for it. I've seriously not been this excited for a season in the past 5 or 6 years because of Van Gaal and because of Mourinho, boring football. But with Oli, we're playing entertaining football, and I'm really happy. Even if we manage to get top 4, I think that Oli still deserves to stick around, and he won't get fired. So maybe a Carabao Cup or FA Cup win would do loads for the squad because they'll know how it feels to lift a trophy. But I won't be mad if we just get a top 4 finish.
Yeah, cool. So, good luck for Saturday. What time's the kickoff?
Yeah.
12:30?
I think yeah. In India it's at 5, so 12:30.
Okay, so, yeah,
Yeah.
cool. Yeah, so good luck for Saturday. Let's see what
You too,
happens.
man. You too.
May,
Yeah.
may, may the best may the best team on the day win, because you never know, we might get absolutely battered like the first time round. So I'm gonna say on the day. Otherwise you're wholly against me. So yeah, may the best team win, and yeah, it was really good talking to you.
You too, man. Yeah.
And yeah, I think we'll wrap the video. So yeah, thanks guys for
Absolutely.
watching. Subscribe, like, comment, share. Tell your friends or your Man United
Join our
friends.
FPL. Join our FPL.
Join the FPL.
We're gonna drop the code in the link in the description box.
Yeah, so link in the description, and also go follow us on all our social media. So we're mostly active on Instagram, really. And you'll find all our content on the FPL, our website, etc. So yeah, thanks for watching, guys, and peace.